Right now.
Right now. We should hypothetically be streaming now. It's not happening for me either, but give it a minute. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. The internet can totally see you now. Aha, yeah, I see it. Do you guys see it?
See it? I can see it.
Clayton1015 says hello. Hello. All right.
Hola.
Welcome to a stream. A late night, laid back stream about, oh man. on my thing it still says that the title of this is Dreamcast commentary, even though I changed everything. Does it properly say Super NES Classic for you guys?
For me, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's okay. That's weird. All right, so welcome to a chill late night stream, a Kalen time stream, you might say, focused around the Super Nintendo Classic. Then the reason I'm doing this is because I have to appear on a podcast along with Hyle Russell.
Dustin, who has summoned me.
Who wants to talk about it? But I'm not alone. Old school TGC fans, all two of you. That's Dustin and I don't think Peniel's here. So you might remember my cohorts tonight. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
That's nice.
No.
You knew it was coming.
Okay, in chronological order of their first appearance, we've got Kalen on stream.
Yo.
Kalen, introduce yourself for those who may not remember you.
I am the maker, if you will, of the My Way.
The maker of the My Way.
Yeah.
All
the person an entire game was made and dedicated to.
Ah, yeah. Underwater Marble
Killers.
Zone. Excellent. All right, and what about person number 2?
Person number 2, I am Lennon. That's all you need to know.
Lennon of Game and of Geek Critique Game and Wario fame. That was the only video that he ever appeared.
I did some other kind of live stream with you once.
Yeah,
I think it's something to do with Zelda, or was that?
No, we did a podcast after one of the Nintendo Directs.
Yes, that's what it was. But that's the only other appearance I think that I've been on.
And everybody's talking about going to bed, and Dustin VG Master is already misspelling Kalen's name. Or coming up with creative new ways to spell Kalen's name.
Always.
All right, so what do you guys think I should play first? Should it be Donkey Kong Country 1 or 2? Those are the only options. Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger.
You know,
Razor.
RPGs definitely make an excellent live streaming subject matter.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. All right.
Yeah, bet it's for suckers.
Ric Flair is here on the stream.
Oh my goodness, you're so famous.
Wow.
Clayton says,
you're
number 1.
Gonna play Chrono Trigger? Come on.
Why not?
Do you guys think I should go with battle mode active or wait? Anyone?
Active.
I'm asking you. I'm not asking the chat.
Active.
Active it is then. I had a friend in my senior year of high school who loved this game and never stopped talking about it. So I'm going to name my main character. I haven't talked to him since 2006, but I'm going to name my main character here in his honor.
Oh, man.
Like, this was his favorite game. He would...
Yes.
And I can still remember how many times he was like, so, he would go up to people who weren't video gamers, who had never played a game in their lives, and go, what do you mean you don't know about Chrono Trigger? Chrono Trigger is the best game of all time. It was created/developed by the Dream Team in 1995, and just go on and on and on, rattle off all... He had this whole, like, memorized speech about the complete history of Chrono Trigger.
I remember those stories.
Why can't Metroid crawl? These are the real questions.
Real questions.
Confused Spartan, I like your typo. Chronic Trigger.
It's on SNES Classic?
Brian! Good morning, Brian! Chrono Trigger is one of those games that I've played, and I can tell, oh man, this is a great game. This is a phenomenal game. I can see why people love it, but it's also a turn-based Japanese RPG game, and I've never been able to actually like get more than about 2 or 3 hours into it.
Have you ever beaten the game?
I've only ever gotten 2 or 3 hours into it.
I mean, I can't talk. I've never really played it for longer than 5 or 10 minutes, probably.
You would probably like it.
I mean, I'm sure I would if I sat down and actually had time to play it.
Okay, what should I name the inventor lady? By the way, this friend who said that Chrono Trigger was the best game of all time also inexplicably hated this person and would always name her Butts.
I did not know that.
So, he has an inventor friend. What should I name her?
Butts?
Call her Nerd.
That's not funny.
Jeez.
What? I'm just following the Piccolo strategy.
True.
How are you doing, Josh and Quaylen? We're doing well, Simon. No, actually, if you New Game Plus Chrono Trigger, I know that you can beat it in, like, no time at all. Okay, the first person I've seen suggest something suggested we name her Samus, so I guess I'll go with that.
And you got a lot of Metroid fans in here.
I wonder why.
And now you get some other names.
Lennon, the next time I get to name somebody, I'm going to ask you, although I'm probably not going to play this game for a whole lot longer because it's an RPG.
I don't know why you decided to play this game in the first place. I was just kidding.
It was the first suggestion I had. Now, I do like how the game does something really neat here. Like, through the early game, there are these little decisions that you can make. Like, there's, like, food you can pick up off the table. There's a second here where you're gonna, like, run into somebody. And later you're put on, like, on trial for being a bad person. And, like, the game will, like, flash back to these scenes. And, like, you know how typically in a game, like, it's a game, so you don't really care, so you're gonna, like, exhaust all of your options. You're gonna, like, try stupid things that you wouldn't try in real life. Like, this game actually remembers that you did that stuff. So, like, if I pick up this pendant and then refuse to give it to her, then, like, there will be somebody on this screen who will testify against me and say that I did that. I have to talk about this part of Chrono Trigger because I've never played much more of it.
Yeah, that's about as far as I got, too.
Okay, last person we're gonna name. What should I name this blonde lady here? Lennon, it's your turn.
Oh, man. She doesn't even remember her own name. It's sad. Chat, help me.
I don't know how much of a delay there is.
Well, someone said Blaze the cat earlier, so go with that.
Blaze the cat.
Perfect.
I can't fit the cat in there, unfortunately.
Put Blaze.
Oh, Jonathan needs to come on this stream now.
Name her Girl.
No, I like the
too.
person who said I like the idea of Girl, considering that's what the game called her at first.
True.
I don't know. Chrono Trigger is one of those games, like, if I ever actually decide to do a season of, like, RPGs, then Chrono Trigger will definitely be in there. Like, there's a lot of stuff where, like, if I knew I was going to make an episode about it, I'd probably get more into it and pay more attention.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's really hard for me to get myself to play a game like this just, like, casually or in my own free time. Name her the baby. Okay, lots of people are saying Super Metroid. Let's do Super Metroid. I don't think I've actually really started a game of Super Metroid on this thing.
I like that's how usually as far as I get in Chrono Trigger anyway. And now you're changing game.
Yep, sounds good.
Oh, I'm 10 minutes in this.
Works.
That's fine.
It's perfectly fine.
I saw some... Oh, hello, GeoTunes. So I saw somebody asking how long this stream would be. As far as this portion of it, I'm probably just gonna, like jump into a couple of games, play them for a few minutes, and then jump out. But I have no idea how long I'm actually gonna go for. I'll tell you what, the funny thing about Super Metroid is, like, like I'm always gonna love it. I think it's always gonna be my favorite Metroid game. But there's a part of me that's very happy that I played it before I played Fusion and Zero Mission, because like primarily the difference in these like the screen transitions like really stand out a lot when you've played a 2D Metroid game that's so much more snappy. But while we're here,
sorry, go ahead.
While we're here, Lennon, I understand that you have a lot of specific memories with the Super Nintendo.
I do. I remember Super Metroid being one of them. Like, I remember... Yeah, the Super Nintendo in general was my first real console I ever got. And every Christmas I'd always ask for more Super Nintendo games. But since you're playing Super Metroid, I'd like to notice that... Or tell a story real quick about how I found out that Samus was a girl, because I didn't know at first. And I thought... Of course, I was a little kid, so, like... The first time I died, and you know how the animation happens, and all her armor just falls off, and the hair whips back and everything. And I was
right.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Right? A horny little like 10-year-old or whatever. How old I can't remember how old it was, but
well, I don't know. If we need
after
to be
that, I
talking
purposely like got myself killed just to see that over and over again.
Perfect. Expect nothing less.
Right.
I expect nothing more.
Yes,
and I thought Kalen was
fun.
bad to randomly bring up his sex life.
Yeah, let's not start, Josh. You know better. Josh,
Yeah.
Zach, come on. Kill them. What are you doing?
You're
It's
not.
like you have no upgrades.
It's almost like, oh, here's an upgrade. Now, remember though that if you're commenting on what you think I'm doing right now, it's not going to sync up right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, see, Lennon, I like.
Well, actually, it will sync up right for the chat. So
I didn't really remember, Lennon, what
too late. Sex life mention.
Not even done mock ball and gotten super missiles. You know, I think I did successfully pull off a mock ball one time, but I don't even remotely remember how to do it now.
Do the mock ball.
Like, there's some way you have to, like, run and then curl into a ball. Lennon, how far into Super Metroid did you get, actually?
I have no idea. I know I've never beaten it. Like, I can't tell you how far I've actually
Crazy,
gotten.
lazy, and guy you don't know. Stop.
Like,
What are
most
they doing?
games, when I had in the Super Nintendo, like, I played a bunch of them, but I never really finished any of them because I was too young, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo was, like, the only thing you had for a really long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't have a console after Super Nintendo till Dreamcast, when you convinced me to get a Dreamcast.
That sounds right to me. Yeah, that's kind of something.
So I skipped the 64.
I convinced, like, 2 or 3 people anyway to get... No, Kalen, didn't I convince you to get a Dreamcast?
I think so.
And then I convinced my cousin to get a Dreamcast, and then I convinced Lennon. It was a really easy sell at one time, because you could just be like, okay, look, it's games that look like this, and the thing costs $50. So...
I'm pretty sure how you convinced me is all you had to do was show me a PSO. You kept bringing the manual and stuff to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember that, and like kept showing all this cool stuff you can do and everything. Like, and when we came over to hang out at your house, you know, you'd show me Dreamcast games, and that kind of convinced me.
Yeah, like I wasn't kidding in the Dreamcast episode. I was like, I was trying to do my part to save the Dreamcast.
Dustin said, "Hey Josh, just want you to know you made me buy a Dream Pie."
Oh, excellent. Well, let me know, and like we'll get online and play some PSO or something.
Stop.
Oh yeah, also in the Dreamcast video, both Kalen and Lennon make appearances as my teammates in PSO in the Blue Burst footage.
I'm the guy randomly kicking things.
Yeah, Lennon decided to play without equipping a weapon, so he was running around just kicking, just like doing the unequipped combo at things.
Good stuff. Great stuff.
Should've
Some would
just-
say the best stuff.
Should have just been the salesman for the Dreamcast.
Could have.
I tried. I did my
Should have
best.
saved it. The age of was it 14.
But really, like what I said in that episode, like, like I really do have this very distinct memory of somebody of like trying to talk to about the Dreamcast to somebody in 8th grade and being like, "Well, what's wrong with it?" And he was like, "Well, the graphics suck." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you're a lost cause anyway."
The graphics suck.
Why don't you like
I guess
the
I
Dreamcast?
didn't have that problem since all I was playing was Super Nintendo. So.
Yeah, geez, you went directly from the Super Nintendo to the Dreamcast.
Yeah. And then fell in love with Shenmue.
I like people giving me tips on how to play. Just
Well,
stay in the
this
corners.
game gets speedrunned a lot, right? So that makes
true.
sense.
That's very true. The Wii U is the new Dreamcast, yeah. But we should probably talk more about the Super Nintendo, given that that's...
We keep on tangents.
That's what we're good at, though. It's like all we do.
Well, I'm particularly good at talking about the Dreamcast, but...
The little nuts don't hit you, apparently.
They don't hurt you, really?
What?
Well, go roll it one and see what happens.
No, that hit me.
They just wanted you to get hit by some nuts. I understand.
Maybe it means they don't damage you. Okay, I have 52. No, now I have 48. So, what are you talking about? It's okay. That's a very easy boss.
It doesn't seem that easy. You're taking forever.
It takes a long time, but it's easy.
You're getting hit a lot, too.
But not
Half
for a
health.
lot of damage.
Still half health. That's all I'm saying.
I have full health. Oh, well, I did beat it. And then, Kalen, what about you? I know you had a Super Nintendo when I met you.
I don't know, dude.
I don't have memories.
Like, I remember
memories.
you beating... I think you beat A Link to the Past.
Talking about Kalen or me?
Kalen. No, I know.
might have.
I know
I
you
do
beat A
remember
Link to the
playing
Past.
A Link to the Past.
Lennon can, like, I'm sure that there are people better, but I've never seen anyone play Link to the Past better than Lennon does.
For real, though, he is a monster.
Okay, I'm not that good.
Well,
A monster.
like
He's a speedrunner. Don't let him...
I handed him the controller one time, and he, like, made it further in Link to the Past than I ever had in my life.
It was like a car ride, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I had... Like, I think me and... I think Kalen might have been like, with us. And, like...
yeah. We were in your room, and you were like, "Here, Lennon, you can play." And he was just, like, going ham. Like, it was crazy.
Like, the fact that Lennon's only console from, like, the mid-90s until 2002 was the Super Nintendo meant that he played it a lot.
Yeah, because it's the only kind of game I had. But also the fact that Link to the Past is my favorite game of all time, so...
I really ought to try a Super Metroid randomizer sometime.
I mean, Link to the Past is me, as is, Sonic 2 is with you.
Yeah, that's...
That's very fair.
Kalen, what would you say is your equivalent to my Sonic 2?
I don't think I really have one.
Like, what games sort of set the precedent for you that all other games would be judged against?
I don't know. That's...
You like...
I mean, it depends on the game, I guess. Like, what kind of game it is.
And then as far as the Super Nintendo goes, I know for a fact that you guys also beat Yoshi's Island.
Ew.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did Yoshi's Island.
I've gotten up there before, by the way. There's no reason to do that, but I think I have. This is making me want to, like, actually go through and play Super Metroid again. I haven't played it since I made the episode on it.
I love to go back and actually finish it myself.
Yeah, it's a good one, to say the least. Somebody's asking me if I ever played or completed Earthbound. I've played it, but just like with Chrono Trigger, like, I pick it. The problem with RPGs for me, like among other things, and like I could do a whole series on this one, but it's like I only kind of enjoy playing them, I guess. Like I'm always sort of looking at like I guess they never hook me. They never, with few exceptions, Pokemon being the big one, but they never really like get their hooks in me. And then I never feel any incentive to like go back and actually finish one. Like even if it's kind of interesting, like when I'm actually playing it, I don't feel that pull to go back. Like I don't sit there and go, oh man, I can't wait until I can play some more Chrono Trigger or whatever. Like it just doesn't seem to usually get its hooks in me. Although Dustin points out that I have said similar things about Metroid a long time ago, and then I played the whole series.
Yep. You gotta watch it around Dustin. He'll fact check you. He knows more about us than us.
I saw somebody point out that I missed the Spazer. Somebody's asking if I ever played Shovel Knight. Yeah, I played it on the Switch. Actually, that should have been in my in my 2017 episode. Okay, yeah, I remember how to do this. I think. Yeah. Yeah, some people are saying that maybe it's like a Metroid situation. I need to play I need a serious attempt to play RPG games. The difference is, like, Metroid is like a series. RPGs are like an entire genre, and it's not like I don't have, like, familiarity with them. It's not like I haven't played plenty of them. There we go.
All I can think of RPGs that you played, though... You're talking JRPGs or RPGs?
Well, JRPGs, because, like, RPGs has become such a, like...
Yeah, he's definitely played a lot of Pokemon. Sandra, Nicole, whatever your name is.
Because all I could think of was, the Mario RPG game.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. A good, like, turn-based combat can be a lot more fun for me if, like, there's something to actually do beyond just picking items from a menu. So, like, even if it's something as simple as, like, what Mario RPG does, where you have, like, you have to use timed hits to, like, defend yourself, like, if you can trick me into thinking that I'm actually doing something to affect the battle besides just choosing menu items, then I'll have a much better time with it. It's just that all of this totally falls apart when we talk about Pokemon.
And then they're bringing up the Pokemon news.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Evo Search for Eden?
I don't think I've ever even heard of it. Okay,
what do you think of Pokemon Let's Go?
Okay, so here's the thing about Pokemon. I think one thing, and this is something that me and Hyle have actually talked about, and I'm sorry I'm stuck in. I don't actually remember how to do this here. It's been a while. There it is. The thing that's always, I think, made a big difference in at least the earlier Pokemon games was that I could kind of actually get into the role-playing aspect of it more, because it, like, I could think of it as, like, not me fighting, or not my character fighting, but me telling Pokemon to do things. To, like... So I think that's one reason, like, that's kind of how I frame it in my mind, and that's how, like, I always look. And I'm sure a lot of it is also just that, you know, I was a kid when I started playing Pokemon, so it was a lot easier for me to, like, get into something like that. But I think that's one reason that some of the newer Pokemon games that do focus more on the story, like, especially, like, I could not get into Sun and Moon at all, and that's never, like... They're the first. That's the first series of Pokemon games that I've never beaten at all.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, usually when new Pokemon game out, you and, or at least Kaylin as well, talk about like crazy, and then Sun and Moon's the first one I have not heard you say much about.
No, I mean, I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, but I just it was like, I know some people love the story focus and they love that stuff, and that's you know, fair play to them. That's one way that Pokemon can go, but like, it really just kept taking away from the game for me. But I think that there was, like, I know X and Y, a lot of people didn't like all the story focus there with, like, your friends and stuff, and yet I played more X and Y than I, like, ever have any other Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think another part of it was that, like, I had probably burned myself out on Pokemon because I'd replayed the Red and Blue Virtual Console releases over and over and over again earlier in the year. So by the time Sun and Moon came out, like typically with Pokemon, I have like at least a year or two like period where like I don't really play them much. But in this case, I was just pretty burnt out on them. But I know we all play Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
So yeah, like what do we think of the Pikachu, the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee stuff?
It looks cool. It looks interesting. I like that it links up with Pokemon Go, so that all of this time that people have spent, you know, wasting their lives walking around or cheating the system to get their Pokemon isn't completely wasted.
God, I haven't played this game in a while. I remember when I could kill this guy before, like, he even, like, rises up here. But I think you have to have more super missiles to do that. Yeah, I said on Twitter that, like, this is everything I've ever wanted in a Pokemon game, and what I mean by that more than anything else is just, it has co-op. Oh my god, I love
yeah.
it.
Oh, yes.
Co-op can so easily make a game that I wouldn't otherwise even be that interested in into something that I'm going to play all of.
I'm gonna force my wife to play Pokemon with me.
Oh, she sounded so excited when you're... I was on...
She's never played a Pokemon game, but I'm making her.
Like, we're gonna have a Pokemon
she likes
journey.
It or not.
We're gonna have a Pokemon journey together, and she was like, "Yay,
yay!" Just like confused, but like, no, I'm not. Kind of look. I don't know. It looks like we discussed this last night. The whole trailer and everything. We did a whole like analysis thing too, which is pretty cool.
Probably could have streamed that.
We could have probably. I don't like the aspects, like the thing I don't like about Pokemon Go is also in this Pokemon Let's Go game as well. The whole fact that it looks like you can't battle the wild Pokemon, you just catch them. Which I didn't like in Pokemon Go either.
Yeah, I was really relieved to see that, like, trainer battles were still in anyway.
Yes, at least that's in. But I do like, you know, the whole Kanto regions there and in original 150 Pokemon and so forth.
No, dude, it's pathetic. Like, I totally understand why, like, I totally understand why Gen 1ers have such a bad reputation, but I can't deny that it works.
I think this guy's trolling you right now.
What's he saying?
He said, "What's your personal favorite Elder Scrolls game?" He said his is Oblivion.
Oh man,
who is that? He might know me.
Clayton, 1015.
Oh yeah, man, Oblivion's great. I can never get enough Oblivion. I wish I was playing Oblivion right now.
Gosh, shut your whore mouth.
Dude, you guys remember the halcyon days of Oblivion? That was.
It's got Patrick Stewart.
I know, it's weird how the game just ends after Patrick Stewart's character dies, though. Okay, for anybody not in the know, Oblivion to me is kind of the opposite of what Sonic 2 is to me, in that it taught me everything that I don't want in a video game.
They want you to play Mega Man Egg.
Oh yeah, I will get on that right now.
Yeah, you played enough Metroid.
Yeah, you're gonna play this whole game if we don't stop you.
Well, it's just so easy to keep going.
Josh.
I stopped.
Like 2 minutes of Chrono Trigger, and then you played like 20 minutes of Metroid.
Well, we can see where my where
your loyalty lies.
Yes. I actually like booted up Pokemon Go like in light of this news last night. Like I found out that I hadn't caught a Pokemon in very nearly a year. I caught a Totodile in like a year ago. And I had totally forgotten that like they'd even added in anything past Gen 1. But like I don't know, as far as like the reception to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee goes, I'm not surprised by it, because I feel like this news kind of like might make people who like started being fans of the series after Gen 1 feel a little bit alienated, because like Kanto gets so much love. I can't remember who, but I saw somebody on Twitter earlier today who was just running through like all the freaking like Kanto references and Kanto nostalgia that we've gotten over the years. Like every single generation except for 5 has had some sort of a, hey guys, remember Kanto? But at the same time, as somebody who did come in with Gen 1, I can't deny that it works. It reminds me a lot of how like all that Power Rangers ever wants to reference is Mighty Morphin. Because that was like the original, that was when the show was at its most popular, and that's the thing that the largest majority of people have the most nostalgia for. So I see why they do it. I am relieved, like I'm hyped to like just like to get to go through Kanto again on a new adventure. I understand this isn't like gonna tell the same story, although it is set in the same place. But I'm also I think that the reception would have been a lot worse if Nintendo hadn't also announced that, okay, so this Pokemon Go stuff, we're doing that, but also don't worry, like a new mainline like core game is coming out next year. Yes.
I was worried that that was going to be it. Like, we have a new Pokemon Switch game, and it's going to be awesome. And if that was it, I probably would have been a little bit disappointed as well.
But honestly, like, I am definitely more excited about this than I would have been. Like, if they'd said a new core Pokemon game was coming out with a new region, with new Pokemon, with new, like, I wouldn't have been as excited for that as I am about this. I would be more excited about this, I guess, if it didn't have, like, the you know, if it had a more traditional battle system for wild Pokemon. But the fact that we know the battle system is still in there for trainer battles, and that you're, like, still going to be able to, like, raise a team and stuff, that pretty much mitigates that. I'm also excited that, that random battle encounters aren't going to be in this one, apparently.
Though I wonder, like, someone brought this point up to me when I was discussing with someone else, that how is leveling going to work since you can't battle wild Pokemon?
Yeah, like, levels are definitely still in. I remember seeing them in the trailer.
Like, you're not going to be able to grind your levels up very well, unless you can, like, fight the same trainer over and over again.
Maybe you give them candy.
Just a lot of candy from Pokemon Go or something. You can catch a lot of Pokemon, turn them to candy, and then have them eat, you know,
grind them into candy. Grind the extra Pokemon
Go
into candy.
Dustin VG Master says, I am pleased by the lack of Ego Raptor references. This guy right here! Dead. You want to be Zero! He's so cool with the long hair and the gun and... See, look at what you've done. This is your fault, Dustin.
This is your fault. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Oh, somebody wants to see the scam lines. Yeah, okay, I can turn the scam lines on, that's fine. I see somebody saying that it should have been Sinnoh. Yeah, I know that, like, Gen 4 fans are really... They were really hoping for, like, a remake of Diamond and Pearl. What would you guys have thought of a remake of Diamond and Pearl? Can you remember anything about Diamond and Pearl?
No.
Diamond and Pearl came out when me and Lennon were, like, about 19 or 20, and I know I played through the whole thing. Do you remember playing it, Lennon?
I probably played a few hours. I don't think I've completed a Pokemon game since Fire Red.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
You didn't even play Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
Yeah, I did play those, yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, I don't know, I played like every Pokemon game except Sun and Moon, just not beating them. Like, I only played a few hours each.
Nonetheless, like, I was too old to have, like, nostalgia for it. I only ever played it that one time. I don't really remember anything about playing through Pokemon. I played through Pokemon Pearl. I remember getting Palkia, like, at the Big Rock. But, like, it's really... So it's kind of weird to me that, like, you know, that was more than 10 years ago at this point. That was... Yeah, they came out, like, 11 years ago. So a lot of people who were, like, in their early 20s now, you know, played those games. Like, that might have been their first Pokemon game, and they have a ton of nostalgia for it. So
Weird to think about.
So to them, like getting a remake of that would be like getting a remake of Fire Red and Leaf Green was to us.
Oh yeah, I did pick
Yeah.
Turtwig. I forgot I had the giant turtle earthquake thing. I had to look it up again because I can remember.
I love how this hypothetical Super Nintendo stream has been totally dominated by Pokemon discussion.
Well, Pokemon news just came out.
Yeah,
What
that's
do you
true.
say?
Yeah, when I did the Dreamcast stream last week, that was a little bit more formal. That was more like, okay, I want to mostly talk about the Dreamcast. I want this to be like a compliment to the episode. This, it's more just like, I need to refresh my memory on what playing the Super Nintendo Classic is like for the purposes of this podcast. So we can talk about whatever.
You said it was a very chill stream.
Very chill, very laid back.
Very casual.
I mean, Kalen is here, so...
Filthy casual.
Exactly.
Filthy.
I think I'm
We're
gonna.
not hardcore gamers.
I think I'm gonna finish off Chill Penguin here and then switch to something else. So if anybody has any suggestions, just throw them out there.
But how chill is...
On a level.
Or as Steven called, or as Steven called him once upon a time, Chill Penis.
Man. How clever.
Like, we were recording this part of the game that I knew was going to be in fast forward, so he wasn't really trying very hard.
So a lot of them are saying Star Fox 2.
You know, that'd be fine. I haven't played much Star Fox 2. But he was like, Chill Penis! That was horrible, don't put that in. So of course I had to put that in.
Yep. Why wouldn't you put that in? Like, that is Steven.
I would say that the Mega Man X Let's Play that me and Steven did back in the day was probably the best one we ever did. Way better than the one than any of them that I did with Kalen.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Hurt.
Dustin, get him.
Okay, for anybody who doesn't, like, for the 99% of you that don't know this, the Geek Critique was started in 2013. Like, I was still in college, so I didn't think I'd really have time to, like, make an analysis series like what I ultimately ended up doing. And moreover, I also didn't know how to. So I started out just playing games like this and being really a pretty crappy, not Game Grumps ripoff, but kind of doing the same thing they did, just with, like, our personalities. So Kalen was the original co-host of that show.
Yeah.
So Kalen is OG Geek Critique.
Yeah. Get it.
Alright, Star Fox 2.
Have you heard of the Link to the Past Super Metroid Cross Randomizer?
I have not.
Brady Boy asked.
Wait, I think I have, actually.
I've never heard of it, so that sounds interesting.
So, I'm sure everybody knows this. Star Fox 2 was a game that Nintendo completed, that was basically complete in 1995, but they didn't release it. Because, like, you know, this was 3D graphics, and they wanted the N64 to be, like, the big leap to 3D graphics. They wanted to, like, emphasize that. So, the game sat incomplete for over 20 years, and was finally released as a special bonus game on the Super Nintendo Classic. Let's see. Apparently
This looks
right at
so
the team.
terrible.
What are you talking about? Holy crap! Kalen! Somebody says, I'm still waiting for you guys to release that Let's Play of Jeopardy on the Sega CD. Are you on that? I gave those files to you in 2013, Kalen. Have you edited it yet?
Yeah, I edited it, and then I took the computer that I edited it on, and I threw it in a garbage disposal. And then I threw that garbage disposal into a lava, like a volcano, right?
Right.
But then I threw that volcano into an ocean. So
you did edit it. Where can I watch it?
Which ocean?
I want to say the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it's I could give you some coordinates, but it's probably drifted by now. Drifted far, far away. Yeah, sorry, I dropped the ball on that one.
I think I still have the project files for it, but it wasn't very good. Jeopardy makes a surprisingly poor game to Let's Play.
It was awful. That was so bad.
Sounds entertaining to me.
Shut up, Lennon. What asked?
So I know a lot of the ideas from this game ended up being used in Star Fox 64 and later... Oh man, what was the DS one called? Star Fox Command. Particularly the way that, like, these missiles are, like, advancing toward you, and, like, you have to... It's kind of like a strategy game. Has some strategy elements.
I mean, at the same time, for the Super Nintendo, trying to do these, like, 3D type stuff.
I have...
Or attempting at it.
You guys might be able to tell I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Yep.
I mean, I never played it, so...
It's always been obvious, Josh.
DKC3 runs at a butter smooth. Oh man, I don't know the controls. I'm trying to play this like the Switch version. Okay. Target. Do we have lock-on in this one? Oh, we do. Neat.
Nifty.
I thought you died there already.
I'm having trouble, like, telling which triangle is me and which ones are my enemies. This one does seem to run a little bit better than the original Star Fox on Super NES. I've beaten that one. But it was weird because, you know, Star Fox 64 was one of those games where I never knew that... Like, when I was a kid, I didn't know that there was a prequel to it, that there was a Super Nintendo version. So,
same here.
So to see that was really crazy. Okay, I'm gonna see what happens if I let this missile hit the planet. Ooh, Corneria gets damaged. I see. 10%. Okay, I didn't do that. Yeah, I don't understand how this game works at all. It's probably pretty good.
Just let the planet die.
That would take a while. I'm gonna go ahead and torture myself with this. Confused Spartan says, how did you manage to get a Super NES Classic? They're very easy to come by around here. Like, I've gone to, like, a lot of stores where there's just tons of them sitting on the shelves. But I got it back in October. Just happened to find one at a Target.
Picked it up, stuffed it up his shirt, left.
They don't need to know that part.
I think everyone needs to know that part.
Where am I here? Did I beat the first world already? Yes, I did.
Another game I didn't have.
Okay, so the proper way to play Donkey Kong Country 3, I'm gonna help you guys out right now. You hit the select button, and then you ram right into this rat here. And now you're good. Now you're set up. You're set up. Ignore this. You don't need one. You don't need any of these. You're set up the way you need to be. This is perfect. This is the game as it's meant to be played. I like how you guys can't see what I'm doing, so you can't react to it.
Yeah, not till, like, whatever amount of seconds later.
You madman!
No, I feel like this gets played up in the DK Vine community especially, and I mean I play it up.
Can you put non-SNES ROMs on this thing at the...
I don't know what you're talking about. ROM hacking is well out of my wheelhouse. I would never do something like that. Okay, in all honesty, yeah, you can run like RetroArch on it. I don't, but you can. Well, I do for one thing, but we'll get to that.
Ha! Just keep flip-flopping back and forth, man. It's cool.
No, I feel like, and this is something that I know Hyle and I are going to talk about on the conversation about this. I feel like Nintendo kind of has a tacit understanding that this sort of thing is going to happen. because like it happened with the oh crap, now I have to be Kitty, damn it. Because it happened with the NES Classic, and they didn't change anything about the Super Nintendo. Like the mini Super NES runs on the exact same hardware as the mini NES did, and it's just as easy to hack, and all of the same tools still work. And plus, there's like both of them have like messages that you would only be able to see if you were hacking it. So I feel like this is sort of Nintendo's, like, there's a tacit understanding from them that people are going to do this. Because if they didn't want you to do it, then why wouldn't they have, like, made it more difficult when the Super Nintendo came out? But as it is, I mean, it's a really, like, excellent, easy way to have, like, a RetroPie, in a sense. Except that Nintendo's getting a cut of it. So I kind of see why they didn't change anything. Just admit that... Oh, somebody's asking, on the Kongversation? Yeah, that's, I've been on the podcast a couple of times. That's DK Vine's podcast. And later this week, I'm going to be on it again, discussing this very system. And we're also going to talk about, what we'd like to see from an N64 classic. Which I think will be a nice discussion. It's tough to come up with, like, a good library of games for the N64 classic when you can't use any rare games except for DK64.
Yeah, when you mentioned that earlier, like, I was doing it myself, trying to look up games for 64, and I forgot how many good rare, like, games are from Rare.
Oh yeah, they like made that system.
Man, that's gonna be tough.
Like, yeah, all your Marios and your Zeldas and Kirby 64, that's all gonna be there, but like, without GoldenEye, without Banjo-Kazooie, without, I mean, Conker would never be on there, even if they could use it.
Wasn't Perfect Dark also Rare?
Perfect Dark was also Rare. Like, it would be nice if Nintendo and Microsoft could, like, make some sort of an agreement. I know that, I believe the head of Microsoft's Xbox division has said he would be open to, like, having Banjo and Kazooie appear in Smash Brothers. So it'd be really cool if something like that happened.
That'd be really cool.
But what I was saying earlier, there's this joke that I hate DKC3. And I don't hate DKC3. I hate Kiddy Kong, that's true. That's not being played up much. But like I said in the episode, at worst, it's still an above average, 2D platformer. It's just, in comparison to 1 and 2, it really, like, lets me down. But that's partly because of the things that it, like, focuses on doing. Like, it sort of removes a lot of the reasons that I enjoyed 1 and 2 so much. But in service of that, I mean, it does other things. So I can see why a lot of people like it. Kalen, what's your favorite world in a Donkey Kong Country game, and why is it Crim Key?
Stop.
I bet Dustin VG Master will get that one.
Don't make more games based on me.
It's Donkey Kong Country True, Crim Quay Edition. Every world is Crim Quay.
Oh my god.
Crim Key, I know I'm mispronouncing it, but that's how I always said it when I was a kid. Lennon, on the other hand, had, despite the fact that the Super Nintendo was his only console for all that time, he had no childhood experience whatsoever with Donkey Kong Country. He somehow completely missed it.
Well, don't blame me for that. That's all my parents.
Well, I'm not blaming you.
Yeah. Well, I just mean in general, like, yes, like, I had like 26 games on the Super Nintendo,
including Super
Country,
including Super Scope 6, even though you didn't have a Super Scope.
Yeah.
I remember going over to Lennon's house one time in like 8th grade. He had this cardboard box full of Super Nintendo games, and I pulled out Super Scope 6, and I'm like, oh, awesome, I've never gotten to play this. And he was like, oh, I don't have a Super Scope.
Exactly.
Why did you have Super Scope 6 if you didn't have a Super Scope?
I don't know. All I asked every Christmas was like, I want more Super Nintendo games. My parents were like, okay, and they got like 5 new ones. They probably just picked random ones.
Probably.
I had no idea. But I got some really weird games out of it. Like, there was like 3 Little Pigs or something. It was really interesting. It was like a platformer game that was actually kind of hard. God, what else I got in there?
Well, you should get a Super Nintendo Classic, pull out that box. You can use my Retroad, and you should rip
I have
all
it
of those.
upstairs, actually. I can pull it out.
And then you could put all of these like ridiculous games you had on the Super NES Classic. Okay, now here is the best thing about Donkey Kong Country 3. This is why, even if you hate Kiddy Kong like I do, this is why it's worth playing right here. Parry the Parallel Bird. I am waiting. Parry the Parallel Bird needs to be in Smash Brothers. Both
as a playable character or like as a helper, like
both. Both. I would accept both a playable character and an assist trophy.
Interesting.
And now Perry's time is over, and he's turned into a blue balloon. I like how the chat's still talking about the N64 Classic.
They don't give one shit about Perry.
You need to care about Parry the Parallel Bird.
No one cares about Perry the Parallel.
I'm going to save the game and switch to something else. What should be next? Lennon, do you have a preference?
I saw a game that I wouldn't mind seeing. I think it was Castlevania.
All right, Castlevania. I've intentionally avoided. Oh, that was Contra. Crap. I've intentionally avoided playing too much of this one. Oh, it's Super Castlevania. I've avoided playing too much of this one because, like, after playing all the Metroid games, I know that Castlevania is very, like, I mean, it's called Metroidvania for a reason. And much like with Metroid...
That's Contra.
I know, I said that. It's okay, don't
worry.
Wait,
stop. No, go back.
Kalen, this is in the past.
Oh.
Anyway, much like with Metroid, actually even more so than Metroid. Oh, crap, okay. Even more so than with Metroid, I have very little actual familiarity with the Castlevania series. So it would be really, like, this is one of the games near the top of my list that I'd like to eventually do, like, an entire series on. And somebody's asking what I'm playing. This is Super Castlevania 4. And I know this one in particular isn't Metroidvania, but I think one thing that would be interesting to, like, talk about in relation to the series would be, like, the shift between the old-style Castlevania games and, you know, the more like when the series became more Metroid-y. So I don't mind playing a little bit, but I don't want to, like, I don't want to actually, like, get into it.
Nah, come on. Play it the rest.
Play the whole
Just
thing in one
through.
setting.
Play it the rest of the game. Why don't you just go ahead and play the game?
Yeah, it's always funny when I'm streaming like this and somebody asks, like, so is this going to be a full game playthrough? Like, how long do you think I'm going to be here for?
Forever.
Do you want to be up all night?
I mean, some people it wouldn't be all night.
Somebody says epic music incoming. Yeah, I can't actually hear any of the music at all. Because I didn't want it to, like, come through the, come through the speakers. So I actually, like, I figured, I knew I'd be talking to Kalen and Lennon, so I just, like, kind of forgot to go back and, and figure out the music situation. But I really enjoy the, like, what I've played of Castlevania, which basically amounts to, like, playing the first stage in quite a few of the games.
Yes, didn't play this either.
Spin around the whip.
Castlevania is good.
Yeah, this is one of the big innovations in Super Castlevania 4 is that you could do this.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Whip it.
Oh,
Whip it good.
You guys aren't that far behind me. Oh, you just walk off screen to the right. Okay. Let's see, I also don't remember how to use other things. Oh, okay, it's R. I like how, like I said, Lennon, it's funny how many games you just, like, you had a weird, eclectic selection of Super Nintendo games.
And then what I actually thought of was a Ren and Stimpy game.
Oh god, I had Ren and Stimpy Space Cadets on the Game Boy. It was horrible.
The one on the SNES was actually not half bad.
Like, the Game Boy one that I played was the epitome of that, like, of what you think of as a licensed Game Boy game, where it's just such a so obviously they just made it as fast and cheaply as possible. Kaylin, do you have any experience at all with Castlevania? You're the one that picked this one.
Yeah, I mean, I like Castlevania, but I'm terrible at it. I usually end up dead by, like, the first, few minutes.
Well, which ones have you played? Fake gamer.
Fake.
I'm trying to think. I think I just played, this one. Because I'm pretty sure I played it on an emulator. Because I didn't have it when I... SNES.
Ooh, I know you should play F-Zero.
Why's that?
I don't know. I remember played a lot of F-Zero. My brother and I would.
It's weird that despite being an earlier game, this game probably actually has smoother swinging animations than Super Metroid does.
That is pretty smooth.
Alien Run, Kaylin, aren't you terrible at everything?
Yes, shut up. I'm trying to entertain the people.
See,
not everyone knows that yet.
I wasn't gonna make that joke, but I'm glad that I'm glad that enough of that ephemera still exists within the Geek Critique fan base that they know that Kaylin sucks at all video games.
Whoa.
Yes.
Check the chat.
Oh, yeah, okay, hang on a minute. Please don't do that, you know what you did.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll give you a warning, but if you do it again, I'll have to take further action. Prepare for unforeseen consequences. I should probably give you guys admin powers, but
yeah,
my chat is usually so nice that I feel like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how nice your chat is.
Well,
I mean,
the other chats, and they're pretty lethal.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Better
safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry.
I love these horse head things. Oh man, okay, I do need to do Castlevania. These things are excellent.
Oh jeez, I just see it now. What is that?
This is further than I've ever played into the game right here.
Oh my goodness.
Aren't they great? Aren't they the best? Oh jeez.
Oh man, they float around too.
Yeah. I saw somebody asking about the Team Sonic Racing. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw an article about it got leaked on accident or something like that.
Yeah, and then they just went ahead and announced it today.
Yeah.
So first thing, that's a much better name than Sega than Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing Transformed, but it's still a bit of a weird name. I wish they'd gone with Super Sonic Racing or Team Sonic Racing. Just sounds a little clunky.
They should have just went with Sonic R2.
Well, I haven't looked too much into it, but I think yeah, and they should have hire the same person again. have the same music tracks. That'd be great.
Everybody Supersonic Race.
Can you feel the sunshine? Hey? Anyway, I'm not worried. I'm really excited for it because I found out that it's still being developed by Sumo Digital, who also did All Stars Racing Transformed. And
I like
the
this guy.
Kiddy Kong the Game, starring Perry the Parallel Bird and Horsehead.
I like that guy more. That's a great enemy.
All right. Hang on, I just have to report somebody real quick. I like that. What's up, Keelan?
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Also, did either of you guys notice what I named my character?
No.
I missed that.
I don't know if the chat noticed it either. I just made up a spelling of Kalen.
I was looking away for a moment.
But alright, Lennon suggested F-Zero. I don't want to play the game anyways past this. I know the horse heads are there now. So let's play, despite the fact that Lennon had all the... Oh yeah, this is in more. So the way that I've organized this is like the games that I knew that I'd probably want to play quite a bit. And then the one like other system that I wanted to install on this was under here, since like I had a Super Game Boy and
ActRaiser's really good too.
Oh, I know, ActRaiser's great.
What you really need to finish this stream with is Kirby Super, and you need to hand me a controller.
Well, come over.
Mm-hmm.
Kalen lives like 10 minutes away.
But I don't have any pants on.
You don't... My house doesn't require them.
Yeah, but my boxers aren't exactly covering anything.
That's fine by me. This isn't a video stream.
Yet.
As I was saying, I had a Super Game Boy. I played a ton of the Game Boy library on that thing, so I figured that like putting Game Boy games on it would still sort of keep it appropriate.
Josh is a hacker? Very much. Report him to Nintendo for hacking.
Wait a minute, Super Game Boy couldn't play Game Boy Color games? Oh, actually, these are cool. So these are, like, ROM hacks of DKC 1 and 2 that add quite a few features, but mostly what they are like, boss battles. Like, it's a boss rush mode. So this one, like, keeps track of your best times. You can do various team colors. That's the original. And then I really love that they added this, like, you can do the Game Boy Color palette, which I guess I'll stick with. You can customize which boss you're gonna fight. And, yeah, it's sort of like... It's sort of like Robotnik's Revenge. The Sonic ROM hack where you go through all the bosses in Sonic 1 and 2. But, like, Donkey Kong Country ROM hacks are, like, kind of hard to come by, I think because the art assets are pretty complicated. So, I was always really happy to find this one. Awaiting the Shaq Fu box art. You know, I don't know if I've ever played that game. One of the most infamously awful games of all time.
Yeah, never played it. Yeah, I remember. I've heard all about it.
How dare you guys be mean to Shaq Fu?
The chat is still talking about Kiddy Kong. Crap. Anyway, I promised Lennon I'd play F-Zero, so I should probably go do that. All right, Lennon. So tell me about F-Zero. You've probably played it a lot more than I have.
Tell you about it?
Yeah, like tell me about like why, like how did you play it so much?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big racing fan, but like, it's just one of those games, I guess, that like it was really quick. It's not an RPG. Like, my brother and I could take turns back and forth.
Right.
I wish it was we always wish it was multiplayer, but it never.
Yeah, you had to wait for Super Mario Kart to do Mode 7 multiplayer.
Right. But I don't know. We had a blast playing this while. The music's amazing.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just one of those games we just put on real quick and play it.
I guess that's interesting because, like, for me, I don't think I ever played the original F-Zero. I knew of it, but I don't think I ever played it until, like, after I'd spent a lot of time with F-Zero GX. So to me, it was always kind of this thing where I'd play it and I'd be like, okay, I can see this being, like, super, super impressive in 1991. But I've always had trouble, like, getting a whole lot of, like, substance out of it, I guess. So that, you know, the fact that you, like, do have nostalgia for it and you were able to, like, glean a lot more out of it than I ever was is really interesting to me.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like we always like. I guess the game itself, it just made us want to keep playing because we were always trying to like get better times and try to get further because, especially in the later levels, like it gets really difficult.
No, I remember like the one memory that I have of this game that kind of sticks out to me was like, when the Wii U first came out, they did this like thing for a couple of months where every single month they would release a virtual console game that would cost 30 cents. And I mean, that was kind of them trying to make up for the fact that the Wii U was going through an incredible drought extremely early in its life. And that was one of the big things that hurt it. But I remember F-Zero came out for 30 cents, I think on the day of, or maybe like just before E3. So I distinctly remember sort of having Sony's press conference announcing the PS4 and like showing it off on in the background and only kind of barely paying attention to it while playing F-Zero.
Oh, jeez.
I think I posted on like Twitter or maybe Facebook. I don't think the Geek Critique was really like going yet at that time. But I remember posting like, well, F-Zero was thoroughly more entertaining than Sony's press conference.
It was definitely one of those series I wish came back.
Yeah, you know, everybody like, hey, maybe Retro's been working on a new Star Fox racing game though. I fell way behind at the end there. I took my eyes off the game for a second.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, right, okay. I got it. Thanks, guys.
You lost.
Okay. Where are the mods? I'm the only mod in here. Hey, Lennon, will you, like, say something in the chat so I can mod you?
Sure.
Yeah, on the last turn, I looked away to look at the chat for a second and slammed into the wall. Unfortunate.
No, Kalen, you don't get...
Kalen, I know what you're gonna do.
I'm not gonna be that bad.
I know what you're
it.
gonna do. Yeah, okay, I'll mod you too, fine.
I was the one that saw it first.
The mods are in the Super NES Classic, silly. Excellent. Here's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games in a, oh my god, this is a horrible game sense. Nickelodeon Guts. But I'm not gonna play it. Screw that. I'm not gonna play it by myself. If Kalen would actually come over, then I'd play it.
I remember we played that a few times in the past.
Isn't it awful?
Yes. Also amazing.
So then, these three things here, this is neat. Because of the fact that the Super NES Classic runs on the exact same hardware as, you know, the NES Classic, people have actually figured out how to install those files onto it. So you can just pick one of these, like I'll pick the Famicom. And it'll reset for a second here. I see somebody in the chat is excited about the Pac-Man 2. Yeah, I played a lot of that game for some reason. Anyway, so now the system basically is running as if it's a Famicom Mini. I might play Guts. I might go back and play Guts. So this is like the interface and all the games that were on the Famicom Classic. Although, weirdly, the main reason that I even wanted to do this was to play the disk system version of, like, Metroid. But for some reason that doesn't seem to work. And I've never, like, gone back and figured that out. But the non-disk system games work fine. Ooh, somebody wants me to critique Zombos Ate My Neighbors. Which I know...
Oh, yes, I love Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
I've never known a bigger fan of that game than Lennon.
Oh, man, that's another game we played, like... My brother and I played like crazy, because it was actually multiplayer. So good.
I distinctly remember you bringing that over once.
Yeah, because I kept telling about it, and I was like, this game is amazing. I mean, where else can you use a water gun and kill zombies with it? And werewolves and mummies and...
Probably in Dead Rising.
Ha! No one plays that game.
With water guns?
Maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
Halen played more Dead Rising than I did.
And throw like 6-pack soda cans at them like a grenade.
Lennon, you literally are in a shopping mall and you can use whatever to kill the zombies.
There's a level in Zombies Ate My Neighbors in a shopping mall.
I get that, but you're saying what other game? We're telling
I
you
know.
it might be this game.
There's more levels than just the one. There's like 100 or so. I can't remember how many levels there are, but there's a ton.
It's a very long game.
I mean, also, where else can you fight a giant baby?
I feel like that's a Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I don't think there's a giant baby in Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I said I feel like there is.
Somebody wants me to do a whole critique on Just Kitty Kong. You know, I did a whole episode on Bridge Zone. We were talking about RPGs earlier, so here's one of my favorite RPGs ever. Super Mario RPG.
Super Mario!
And the first one that I ever played, for that matter. Although I can't remember where I am in the game, so let's just go somewhere. Like, I feel like this game set up unrealistic expectations for me for what RPGs were going to be. Because, like, years later, I remember playing Final Fantasy VII and being like, okay, but where are the timed hits, though?
You didn't play Final Fantasy 3 or /6.
Not until years later, no.
Yeah. Pretty sure Final Fantasy 6 was my first RPG. Unless you count Pokemon, I guess.
Really? You played Pokemon before Final Fantasy?
Maybe not.
Super Mario RPG.
Actually, no. I think Final Fantasy 6 was first.
Yeah, it definitely came out first. Duh. But Kalen, you haven't said much about RPGs. What do you think of Japanese RPGs with turn-based combat?
I mean, it depends. I liked this game alright, because you had to, like, do the timing and stuff to get extra damage. And, I mean, it's the same for, like, the Mario and the Luigi games.
Because I know,
that
like...
made them so much fun.
Like me, it's often difficult for, like, a story-based game to do much for you.
Yeah, I've never been a story-driven person, and that, I mean, like, a lot of people, would try and hang me for stuff like that, but I mean, it's real.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing. Like, especially during this era, the thing that RPGs excelled at better than other games was like story. Like, I guess you could do like point-and-click adventure games. Those were pretty story-driven, but most of those, I mean, those were going to be on PCs at the time. So as far as console goes, if you wanted to do like when I thought of story-based games, I thought of RPGs. And are you guys still there? Because I haven't heard you in a second.
Yeah, we're still there.
Cool. The chat is just amusing itself by continuously turning whatever I'm playing into Kiddy Kong references.
They know your hatred of Kiddy Kong.
Sandra wants to know if you ever played Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 first. Like, Kalen will remember this. I rented it when it came out and got probably about 3 or 4 hours in. And then...
You hit the win button.
Yeah, you hit the win button. Nah. I enjoyed what I played of it, but it's another one of those games where, like, I would probably enjoy it quite a bit if I, like, could get into it, but it's difficult for me to get into it. God, I have no idea what to do here. Also, I hate that you can't skip the cutscenes in the first game, and I know that's been addressed in the remakes, but... the most recent thing I did with it a few years ago was my girlfriend let me borrow her copy of one of the Kingdom Hearts, like the remake of Kingdom Hearts 2, or the remaster of it, and I basically, like, slogged through the Roxas part at the beginning of the game, and then never went back to it because it was the PS3 version, and... I had trouble like, the PS3 always had trouble keeping my attention.
I'll admit, like, the trailer for the new Kingdom Hearts game with Toy Story style, I was like, It's tempting.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, like, I would probably really enjoy all the Disney stuff, but
Yeah.
like, so much else about it just kind of goes over my head. I know the story. The story is so convoluted that even big fans of the game have trouble, like, keeping it all straight. Saw somebody mention Dark Souls in the chat, and yeah, I'm really loved Bloodborne. That's the only Dark Souls games that's the only Dark Souls style game that I've played. But I'm really looking forward to the remaster coming out on the Switch. Unfortunately, it got delayed.
Of course it did.
Of Dark Souls or Bloodborne?
Dark Souls. Dark Souls remastered is coming out on the Switch.
That makes sense.
Bloodborne is a PlayStation exclusive.
And they're never going to give it up.
Lennon, correct me if I'm wrong, Lennon, but isn't it true that you've never owned a PlayStation console of any kind?
It is true. 100%.
That's amazing.
I'm really upset when I want to play a game on PlayStation and it's not on PC. Or any other console.
You're very lucky that that Shenmue 3 is coming out on PC, because that's so easily...
Oh, man. That'd probably be the first PlayStation console I probably would end buying.
Yeah,
I'd be bitter about it, but...
They totally could have... I wasn't paying attention to what they... Oh, I need to go talk to Frog Fuchs, don't I? Yeah. People are asking me to fight Kulix. Okay, I'll fight Kulix. But yeah, they totally could have sold you a PS4 if they'd wanted to.
Oh yeah, they could have. That's the one game they could have finally sold me on.
Shenmue is like... So really, Lennon, like, come down on the side here. Do you like Zelda or Shenmue better, or do you want to cop out and say you like them both equally? What's he saying?
I mean, it's definitely still going to be Zelda for me.
Right.
But Shenmue's right behind it.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I sold you on the Dreamcast and you got it, and then you loved Shenmue so much that I think you beat it before I did.
I have no idea.
Somebody said, wasn't Shenmue an Xbox exclusive after the Dreamcast died? Yeah, Shenmue 2 came out exclusively on the Xbox in the US.
But I somehow played it on the Dreamcast.
I don't remember how to get fireworks. Is it in here? Yeah, this is it. Do I have 500 coins? It doesn't matter. Yeah, I can do it. Oh yeah, I remember this. The more of these fireworks you buy from this guy, like, that changes what kind of a firework display you get in the ending. Okay, now I can get the shiny stone. Alright, let's go get our asses kicked by Kulix. So, Lennon, this will be cool for you, since you played Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so this game was, developed by Square.
Okay.
And...
So they had a bunch of Final Fantasy related...
No, they had one Final Fantasy related thing. And this is it right here. And I'm going to die.
Can't wait.
This just confused me when I was a kid, because I'd never played a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I remember thinking, oh, that's weird. Why are they talking about Donkey Kong's swordfish buddy? I had no frame of reference for what was going on here.
That's cool. Huh.
Alright, so I think the thing to do here is to try to disable his crystals. Or is it the opposite? Or is the best thing to do to just wail on him? I really don't remember.
It still confuses me, and I've played several Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so this isn't like... As far as I know, this isn't actually a boss from any particular Final Fantasy game. It's just styled after like what you'd expect from the early Final Fantasy games.
He said, "How did you even get to this boss as a kid?"
Oh, the same way I found out about a lot of things. Like, I used to...
The internet.
Oh, God. No, this was pre-internet.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, nothing can kill Peach.
Did you do, like, the call center thing?
Well, yeah, I did that a little bit, but mostly, like, I spent so... Do I have any pick-me-ups? Yeah, just a couple. Okay. Mostly, I just, I spent a ton of time as a kid reading, like, video game strategy guides just for fun. Like, kind of like, you know, nowadays people will, like be on a car ride or something and they'll take out their phone and read stuff from the internet. Like, I would, like, take an entire bag full of, like, strategy guides and reread them over and over again.
So the strategy guide had a clue in here?
Yeah, like, so I had, like, multiple...
Kitty Kong told him.
I had multiple, Super Mario RPG strategy guides. And I guess I just found out from one of them. So the problem here is, like, Peach has the lazy shell armor equipped, which makes her basically almost invincible, but both Mario and Geno are going down in one hit because I'm so underleveled. Like, the maximum level you can get to in this game is 30, and Mario right now is at level 16. Ooh, Kulix should show up in Kingdom Hearts. That would be amazing.
Oh, man.
I saw somebody tell me to kill, like, the Wind Stone first, but that's assuming Mario doesn't die in one hit. Oh, he didn't. He got put to sleep, though.
Shredder.
And he's dead again. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, guys.
No.
Cool thing about it, though,
Chance.
if you finish it, then, like, the normal, like, post-battle music is replaced with the Final Fantasy victory theme. So this was definitely
pretty entertaining.
This was definitely the first place I ever heard that. But no, I'm not going to be able to beat Kulix like this. I could just keep sitting here wailing on him with the war fan and bringing Mario back over and over again, but it would take an incredibly long time. Somebody said, "Why do you need multiple guides for a single game?" Because I loved reading them so much. Like, it was really interesting, and I haven't got one in, like, 20 years, but there were so many, like, unofficial strategy guides for games back then, and some of them had, like, a very, like, editorial bend. Like, the developer, not the developer, the writer of the guide would describe, like, their own, like, experiences playing the game, and, like, things that happened while they were, and, like, share their own anecdotes, and that's probably where the very beginnings of what I do in the Geek Critique kind of began, because I always found that stuff so fascinating to, like, see somebody else's perspective on a game. So is there anything else that you guys would like to see me play here?
Someone mentioned Zelda earlier.
I also see people mentioning Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, a lot of people Power Rangers probably should do that one right now.
Okay, so should I play the Fighting Edition or one of the, I love the Fighting Edition most of all, of course, but, you know, I made episodes on that.
Yep.
So this is the Fortnite I hear about.
Fork knife.
Fortnite.
Superman 64 HD Remix Alpha Plus.
Ooh.
This is another case where it would greatly benefit me if Kalen came over, because then I could kick his ass in this game.
And that's why I'm not over there.
Okay.
I like my ass. I do not want it kicked.
I'm not. No comment.
Kalen, would you like to describe the problem that you and I always have with fighting games?
Nope.
Fair enough.
Nope.
So here's what always happens with fighting games. Like, I really love fighting games. I feel like if I really wanted to, like, I could, like, get pretty good at most of them. I'd probably enjoy, like, doing, like, local tournaments and stuff if I, like, got that good at it. But mostly I just enjoy playing them against people in real life, so, like, online matches never work for me too much. So the problem Kayla and I always have with fighting games is that because I like them more, like, a new fighting game would come out, and we'd both be hyped about it, and we'd play it and have a really good time with it for about one day, and then we would get to that point where, like, I was beating Kalen in every single one of them, and he wasn't having any fun anymore, and then we'd put it down and never touch it again. And that's what happens with me and Kalen in fighting games.
Yup.
And because I didn't have any competition, like, I didn't have any reason to keep playing it either.
That's why I know you don't like to, but that's why you play online with other people.
It's not the same, you know?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
It's not the same when Kalen's not next to you there, complaining and whining about how unfair everything is. Trying to do that super move again. I can't remember how I actually do that.
You put the controller down, and
Right.
you walk away, and never play the game again.
Dustin's telling you to get good.
Ooh.
The things that I want to say to you, Dustin, I'm not allowed.
Wow. Ah, yeah, Diego points out that's why Smash is the best fighting game. Indeed, that's the one fighting game that you guys will actually play with me.
Yes. It's interesting to think about, yes.
Well, I'm actually fairly okay at Smash, so...
And also, I think sort of like Mario Kart, for one thing, the range of characters, the ease, the accessibility of it. Like, Smash Brothers is one of those games where even if you're losing, like, you're probably still having a really good time.
Exactly.
You're still holding your own.
You're still, most of the time, unless you're just getting destroyed, like, it might not be that much fun. But, like, if it's a pro versus just a random new person. But yeah, like... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, when we used to play Smash, like, Melee all the time. Like, for the longest time, I'd never beat you, but I still enjoyed it, and I always, like, pushed me to get better at it.
And then you got to the point where you beat me every time.
Yeah.
Hey, which ranger should I play as, guys?
Buckle.
Dang it, Brennan.
I can't play as Tommy. He's not in this one.
You should play as the Blue Ranger.
I am going to play as Billy, actually, because his animations are goofy, and I always thought they were funny. Yeah, Mighty Morphin Kitty Kongs.
Mighty Morphin Kitty Kongs. You're right. That's exactly.
I mean, look at this jumping animation. There are people who I guess grew up with this game who like watch my my Power Rangers episode and accuse me of being a massive Sega fanboy. And I am a massive Sega fanboy, but
Which you are.
I am a massive Sega fanboy, but I legit never enjoyed the Super Nintendo Power Rangers games nearly as much. Like this one in particular, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up without a two-player mode. And yeah, I know it has a two-player fighting mode. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, I never got to play this one, probably because, yeah, there's not a two-player mode.
The movie, there was a sequel to this one called Power Rangers the Movie, and it does have a two-player mode. But, again, it's not... Like, I never found it to be anywhere near as fun as the Genesis movie game. Which, oh my god, I've beaten that game so many times. Like, kind of circling back to the Pokemon discussion we were having earlier, but, like, a game having a co-op mode, it was always such a, like... It made me pull it off the shelf a whole lot more than I otherwise would have. Because, Kaylin, I mean, you remember, like, all those times we'd sit there and, like, look at the shelf and, like, consider which game we wanted to play. Like, having a co-op mode, having a mode where we could play together and have a good time and we weren't, like, necessarily competing against each other, was always such a big plus.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like couch co-op is making a comeback. Like, especially in the last couple of years.
Billy looks more like Kiddy Kong than he does the proper character. Oh, this is the other thing that all the 16-bit Power Rangers games did, or at least most of them, was like everybody was just a palette swap of the Red Ranger. Like, you look at Billy's helmet design there, and it like, you can blatantly see the Tyrannosaurus. Holy crap, Game Challenger, thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Choo choo.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you could, like, donate during YouTube streams until, like, somebody did it on the Dreamcast stream last time. But yeah, thank you very much for that.
Why would you frame Billy Mitchell, though? Seems like a nice guy.
Maybe they heard me talking about Billy.
Maybe.
But this guy's name is Billy Cranston. I know a lot about
Kiddy Kong is everyone.
I probably could make a video just... There is, like, a hidden Easter egg video just about Bridge Zone that you can find in some of my videos. Like, there's a link to it. I did it with annotations, but, like, you can't do annotations anymore, so I don't know how I'm going to continue that. But I probably could do a similar, like, little Easter egg video just about about what exactly is wrong with Kiddy Kong. That'd be funny. I'm gonna go ahead and Street Fighter 2 this truck here. But yeah, dude, that's a great donation, and like, you know, I'm not like sitting here expecting any of that, so that's really cool. Thank you. But I think I'm gonna wrap up the Super Nintendo portion of this stream and probably go play something with these guys.
I love it how you're Power Ranger protecting the public and you're smashing cars.
I mean, you could probably...
Well, there might be
stream.
roast chicken in there, Lennon. And the only way to find out is to blow them up.
Give me your roast chicken. In random vehicles on the side of the street. Perfect.
I guess we could talk about this. Somebody's asking how long until Nintendo releases the N64 Classic. Like, I know that's going to be something that me and Hyle are going to talk about tomorrow on the podcast, but...
Probably, like, November?
Yeah,
maybe?
So, Nintendo, like, renewed the trademarks for the N64 recently, which is, like, why everybody's, like, pretty sure that it's coming. The big reason that I'm excited for it is because, like, assuming it's running on similar hardware... Like, it almost certainly is going to have to be, like, more powerful hardware than this runs on. Because, you know, you can install, like, the N64 emulator on this, but it doesn't run anything but Super Mario 64 too great. So it's probably going to have to be more powerful hardware. But what's really neat about it is that, like, we don't really, as of yet, have... Like, the N64 is a much more complicated architecture. So having, like, a box that will emulate most N64 games well is going to be really, really nice. And that's one big reason I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of buying a mini or a classic 64 since I actually never owned a 64.
Yeah, that you were still playing Super Nintendo games through that whole era.
Yep. I mean, I had friends who had the 64, so I went over to his house and played it, like, you know, Mario Kart 64 and so forth.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as much as you like the Super Nintendo that you didn't get one of these.
Well, it all depended on my parents at the time. And then the Super Nintendo was good enough.
No, that you didn't get a Super Nintendo Classic, I mean. I don't think that depended on your parents.
Well, I guess because, like, I owned most of the games already, so I didn't really care too much.
Somebody said, I'm so excited for the Wii U Classic.
Oh, man. Me too.
No, I mean, I own most of the games that were on this, too, but it's just, like... The fact that it's so easy to hook up to, like, a modern television, and that it looks so good...
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks way better than... I mean, I know that some people get all into, like, frame meisters and that there's ways to do it. But I guess it's the simplicity of being able to just hook up this cute little box that plays all these classic games and makes them look better than they would through, like, the native composite cables. That makes it, like, very, very appealing to me. Somebody's saying, does this channel have its own Discord? No, not as of yet, but I have thought about it. Most of the, like, social media stuff that I do is through Twitter. I do remember when Doug Funny wanted a Super Pretendo. I always thought that was really neat.
They should start making a mini Game Boy. Start the mobile train of classic.
Dude, yeah, no, honestly, I would be so much more excited about a mini Game Boy than I would a mini N64 even.
Really?
And the only reason for that is, like, having a box that had the capabilities of the mini Super NES, but was portable, like, as long as it was still, like, to hack this thing and to add more games to it, basically all you have to do is plug it into a PC and click a button. It's really, really easy. So, like, Nintendo would instantly corner the market on, like, portable emulation boxes if they did that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Because, you know, like, assuming it would run the same hardware, and I don't see why it wouldn't, like, it would be able to, like, run Super Nintendo games, Game Boy games, Genesis games, even. Like, I also have a Raspberry Pi, and or a Retro Pi specifically, and I'm always wishing that it was portable.
You're always about the portableness.
That's true. Yeah, you've made fun of me for how many games that I already had on other systems that I'm like, oh, it's coming out for the Switch though.
Gotta get on the Switch. Skyrim is on the Switch now.
Just having a game portable and being able to play it, like how easy it is to switch between the TV and the handheld mode, just it makes me play games, like play and beat games that I wouldn't normally do. Like you know, back in the 3DS episode, I said that, like, I'd never actually beaten Ocarina of Time before until it came out on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Like, being able to play something anywhere is just a whole lot more incentive for me to complete games that I might not normally, like, be able to, like, stick with.
I remember when you let me borrow the portable A Link to the Past version of the game. And I would listen to the music on the way to school with it.
I remember that. Yeah, Lennon would, like, plug headphones.
That was the coolest thing ever.
Plug headphones into his Game Boy and just listen to the menu music.
I can listen to my favorite music on the way to school.
Somebody's saying they don't care if it's portable or not. Like, I don't leave my house anyway. Like, yeah, there's that, but, like, even then, like, most of the time when I play my Switch, it's, like, right before bed. Like, I'm laying in bed listening to a podcast and winding down. Like,
oh, come on. It's 90% on the toilet.
I wasn't gonna go there. But yes, that too. See, Lennon, that's the reason... Me and Kalen have talked about this before. The reason Lennon never beats Pokemon games anymore is because he doesn't spend the ridiculous amount of time in the bathroom that Kalen and I do.
I'm gonna go on a Pokemon adventure.
I'm gonna beat all those Pokemon in one toilet.
Yes, that's correct, Mike. I am from Australia. No, yeah, somebody asked if we're from Tennessee because we sound like...
You sound like you're from my neck of the woods.
Yeah, we're... Well, Lennon is technically not from Tennessee, but we've all spent the majority of our lives here.
Oh man, yes, Diego. A portable Shenmue would be amazing.
See, Shenmue is one of those games that I don't think I'd play all that much if it was portable. Like, Shenmue is, like, so, like, story-focused, and, like, if I'm playing Shenmue, then, like, all I'm doing is playing Shenmue. I'm not gonna be playing it while listening to a podcast.
Couldn't you imagine? You could walk around while also walking around in Shenmue.
Dude, you could go to the real-life Dobuita while you're also in Dobuita in Shenmue.
Exactly.
Now I'm on board with this.
Right?
No, not saying that I wouldn't watch Shenmue to be on the Switch, because of course I would. That'd be great. And I really hope that, like, the Shenmue 1 and 2 remasters do come out for the Switch. It's just, when I think about games that I would want to play in handheld mode, I don't think that Shenmue would be one of them. Greek critique is Australia. Wii Classic, the entire console is the Wiimote and it beams into your brain to see the video. That's a good idea. No, the thing is, like, after this N64, I mean, all they have left to do is, like, the Game Boy, and I know people are like, oh, a GameCube Mini, but that would be a lot more expensive hardware.
Yeah, they might have to wait a few years before they do that, or maybe, like, you know, several. before that happens.
And
So yeah, they probably could take a break, undo the Game Boy.
Somebody's talking about the Sega clone systems by AtGames, and yeah, those things are so crap.
Yeah, what if like they did a deal with Sega and did like Sega Classic console games, or you know?
Well, Sega has that stuff. You know, Sega has like
Okay.
there's all kinds of like Genesis clone consoles on the market, but they all like infamously at this point have really really terrible sound emulation, among other problems.
Right, I was wondering if they worked with Nintendo with it and made it better or something.
Well, Nintendo definitely seems to seems to be able to do it a lot better.
Exactly.
Oh, look, Lennon, I've made it to this place. I'm sure you would have been here like 20 minutes ago. Seriously, I handed Lennon the controller, I looked away for about 5 minutes, and he'd made it further than I ever had in this game. He was like in a dungeon or something.
Probably just the first dungeon.
Well, of kind, I would hope so. I'm surprised you don't do that like walk through the wall glitch where you can beat the game in like less than a minute.
The funny thing is, I didn't know about that until, so I think John told me.
Oh yeah, about the walk through the wall stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I remember a couple years ago I found like a portable Genesis made by AtGames, and you know it had like an SD card slot so you could add your own games to it. And I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. You know, it's like the Nomad but with a better screen and battery life. That sounds great. So I picked it up, and then the sound emulation was just so horrible. You know, not that it matters that much, because how much are you really going to be listening to it? Like, the games were playable, but it's just ridiculous that at this point, after all the attempts they've had, they still can't get, like, the Genesis sound hardware right. But I guess probably the reason they don't change it, or they don't fix it, is because it doesn't really matter to the majority of people that are actually buying these things. Like, you know, if you go on Amazon reviews and you look at them, like, you'll see people who, like, oh, I played the Genesis growing up, and this is exactly like what I remember. You know, it's just they haven't actually, like, played the thing in 20 plus years. So, like, to them, they don't remember what the games are supposed to sound like, I guess. And in many cases, the sound emulation is still much better than it was on the Sega Smash Pack for the Dreamcast. Lennon, I don't know what to do. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I remember. What has Aaron the Yoshi done? I see him saying I don't think he's seen what I've done yet. Nomad Classic Mini by AtGames. See, even if it had the same crappy emulation, if they made it look like the Nomad, I would be like, well, I have to have this.
Gotta have it now.
I have so much affection for the Nomad. Anyway, yeah, good night, Kunackles. Kunackles 480. Thanks for watching.
Kuankles.
Kuankles.
Oh, Kunackles, yeah.
So, Kalen, what are you doing?
He's modding the chat.
Of course. Yeah, he hasn't said anything in a while. He may have left and not told us about it.
Very
My
possible.
mic was muted. Word.
Oh.
How long have you been muted?
Probably like 5 minutes.
Did you wonder why we seem to be ignoring you?
Yes,
Or are you just used to that?
both.
Achievement unlocked, IRL Google, use a friend as a walkthrough. I remember when A Link Between Worlds was announced. I was so excited for you, Lennon.
Oh man, yes.
I was like, this is to Lennon what Sonic Generations was to me. I'm pretty sure I made that exact comparison.
Yeah, there's a sequel, direct sequel to Link to the Past. Yes, please.
Alright, I'm gonna ask the chat one last thing. Like, you guys have seen the menus enough. Is there anything else you'd like me to play, or can I go play, like, something with these guys now? Like, I'm still gonna keep the stream going, but we'll probably collectively, like, we won't be able to pay as much attention to the chat once we... Like, most nights, me and Lennon and Kaylin get together and, like, play something. At least a couple times a week. And Lennon often streams that. But I think...
We have fun here.
We have fun here. 6 more hours. Somebody says Superstar. Yeah, I guess I could play Superstar. I've played a lot of Superstar for the Geek Critique already.
There's a battle between Superstar and Contra.
Somebody saying the Game Boy Donkey Kong Country demake. Super Mario Kart, the most superannuated game. I already played F-Zero. Played that earlier in the stream. My Little Pony Simulator. I don't remember that being on the Super Nintendo. Well, everybody said something different, so I guess I'll pick from these. I played some Donkey Kong Country 3 earlier, so I don't want to do more Donkey Kong. Could do Tetris Attack, I guess. Or I could do Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yes.
I don't know, I feel like Tetris Attack isn't very, like, visually interesting. Somebody says Final Fantasy VI. We'll just go with Kirby Superstar, that's always good.
Haha.
Kaylin, it's weird, it's gonna be weird hearing your voice, but...
Not having me beside you, wrecking everything in a small radius?
Yeah, this is another one of those games, much like with, what should I do anyway? Spring Breeze, I suppose. This is another one of those games like the Power Rangers game, the Power Rangers the movie for Genesis, that I spent so much time like playing over and over again because of the co-op mode. Because, you know, like me and Kaylin like lived across the street from each other since 1995 until I moved. So
it said, "Do you know how to play?" Do you?
Yep, it still asks me that.
Kaylin doesn't know how to play.
Nope, I'm at a loss for how to play this game.
So I'm pretty sure, like, every single person that I have ever considered to be, like, one of my best friends, I've played through Kirby Superstar with at some point. I remember that. It was just such a fantastic co-op game. And Lennon, I know you, like, you had Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy and played it over and over again?
Dude, I remember that was one of the first games I ever got. And I played it so much on the harder difficulty that I remember when I went back to the normal difficulty, I actually had trouble with it.
So was I the one to, like, introduce you to Kirby Superstar then?
Yes, because I didn't have it on the SNES.
Do you remember what you thought of it at the time, having come from, like, the Game Boy Kirby's?
I thought it was awesome. Like, all the game modes and stuff on there was pretty cool. I can't remember much else about it, but yeah, I remember being a cool game. Definitely a step up from the Game Boy version.
Hey, Lennon, what are your thoughts on the objectively superior sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Ghoul Patrol?
Ghoul Patrol? I have no idea what Ghoul Patrol is.
I think I've heard of it a long time ago. It's a lot more obscure than Zombies Ate My Neighbors, although I don't know why. But no, Kaylin and I played so much Kirby Superstar, like, I'm pretty sure we could play it with our eyes closed.
I'm not interested, I have to look it up.
And useless trivia, but the first ever, like, Geek Critique video back in 2013 was, like, the first part of a Let's Play for Kirby Superstar. And then I found out later that that was also the Game Grumps' first ever video. I did not do that on purpose. It's just such a perfect co-op game. So apparently somebody's been asking a question for hours. What has he been asking? Did you guys see what Simon's been asking? Oh, he's asking for the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I mean, you can probably glean from the fact that, like, I want all these games that I already have, but on the Switch. Yeah, I'm still really loving it.
Yeah, so I looked up Gold Patrol, and yeah, it looks like pretty much like Zombies My Neighbors, but ripped off. I don't know, but it's by the same people, isn't it?
Is it a sequel?
It's from the Super Nintendo from 1994.
Like, there's probably a reason it's more obscure. Like, it's probably like not as good, or it's one of those sequels that like tried to change too much and got cute with it, so it's just not remembered as fondly. Like ActRaiser 2, for instance.
Like, even the music sounds very similar to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Well...
And I also, speaking of the Switch, I really enjoyed the, I know a lot of people had some problems with it, and I understand them. I understand why, but I absolutely loved the Kirby game for the Switch that came out a few months ago. But, like, Kirby is one of those things, like the Kirby platformer series, it's never gonna be, like, it's never gonna make, like, my Game of the Year list or whatever, but, like, it's gonna, like, deliver such a, like, solid, consistently fun game that I'm always gonna enjoy them. Like, it always kind of bothers me how, like, reviewers, like, will talk about Kirby games sometimes, being like, oh, it doesn't change enough, it doesn't change enough. Like, I get that innovation is, like, can be a really good thing, and I get, especially, like, for a professional game reviewer who has to play everything, like, it can be really tiring playing the same types of games over and over again. But, like, I don't think that something has to be innovative or necessarily has to do, like, a ton of new stuff in order to be fun and in order to be worth playing. And yeah, Kirby games also always age well, that's true. Nathaniel asking, oh, how do you feel about Air? I don't know, I probably have a little bit too controversial an opinion on Air. Kalen, you better take this one.
I'm not good with Air.
Ooh, somebody says anyone who has the light theme for their Switch home screen can go die. That's funny, we were actually talking about something similar right before we got on stream. I have the light theme for the Switch. I tend to have the light theme in most things that have a light theme. And the reason we were talking about it is because we're doing this through Discord, and I specifically pointed out, man, I usually like light themes, but Discord's light theme looks really bad, and I don't understand how anybody uses it. By the way, for King Dedede here, I usually just unequip a power, unequip any powers and fight him directly. Kalen, on the other hand, always goes for the dark themes. Somebody said any Kirby that isn't Dream Course is fine by me. I'll tell you what, I still liked Dream Course better than I liked Epic Yarn.
I thought you liked Epic Yarn.
No, I liked the Yoshi Yarn game just fine.
Oh, okay, it was the Yoshi Yarn game.
But Kalen, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They muted the mic again.
So did I. Like, you and I know, have very similar opinions on Kirby Epic Yarn because we tried to play it when it came out. Like, me and Kalen have played, like, would always play the co-op Kirby games together. We're like, oh boy, a new Kirby, look, it has this cool new art style. And then we played the game. I'm getting my ass kicked by King Dedede here, by the way.
You really are.
This is unusual.
King 3D.
King Dedede.
Triple D.
Okay, so the thing about Epic Yarn was that, like, it had a really cool art style. Like, I liked how, like, creative it was. That was neat and all. The game itself just was so incredibly... Like, Kirby games are supposed to be accessible, and they're supposed to be easy, and I get that. But, like, there were no stakes to Epic Yarn. Like, it just could not hold my attention. And then it also had the problem where, like, because there were no copy powers... Like, one thing that always gives Kirby a lot of, like, replayability and, like keeps you invested in it, or keeps me invested in it, I guess I should say, is, like, the variety. Because, you know, whenever you get bored of, like, one gameplay style, you can just inhale something else and get another power. But because Epic Yarn didn't have that, it was just like, it was such a slog to play. Tilt and Tumble's fun. I have that one. Epic Yarn put me to sleep. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Man, you beat Kirby's Dream Land so fast.
Oh, I know. You would have beaten it faster, though. Oh yeah, that was always fun, how, like, Spring Breeze was just, like, a remake of Kirby's Dream Land in most ways.
Yep. This ending is exactly the same.
I see somebody saying, like, it's not a Kirby-style game, but it's super fun with the fam. And yeah, that's kind of, like... The game was very blatantly, like, made to be one of those Wii games that's supposed to appeal to people who wouldn't usually play a game like that, and that's fine. Like, it pulled that off really well. It's just that for me and for although Kalen, I think, ended up beating it twice anyway, because he kept playing it with people who didn't play many games. But yeah, like, I don't have any problem with that. It's just Epic Yarn was such a chore for me to play. Anyway, so I think we're going to swap off the Super Nintendo here, and find something else to play. What would you guys like to play?
I don't care.
There's really only two options. There's really only two...
Sea of Thieves or Overwatch. What would you guys like to see? Would you guys like to watch us sail the seas or play Overwatch?
Probably neither.
Probably neither. Somebody's asking, what's your opinion on Superstar Ultra on DS? TF2! TF2! A&M Pro Gaming, I am promoting you. You just earned yourself a promotion! No, Superstar Ultra on the DS is great. It's pretty much, like... To use Exo Paradigm Gamers terms, it pretty much replaces the original. Still like the original, but like Superstar Ultra is better in pretty much every way. Somebody's asking what my opinion is on the Switch from an objective standpoint. Well, I can't really offer you an objective standpoint. I'm I'm inherently opinionated about it. But yeah, love the Switch. Somebody's like, play Shenmue!
Sure, okay.
So we've got one for TF2, one for Sea of Thieves, and one for Overwatch.
That same guy said Sea of Thieves. The same guy that said TF2.
Oh, yeah, so he did. Promotion! I mean, I could put it to a straw poll.
Do it.
Could.
Or Kalen could come over, and we could play Sonic Shuffle.
No.
That's always an option. Kalen,
no.
say
I would
it's an
watch
option.
that.
No.
You know Kalen's not going to drive 10 minutes to your house.
I know, that's way too far away. Okay, are there any other options we should put on the poll? I know.
Man, much more TF2 now.
Oh my god. I don't have TF2 updated, guys. We're not doing this.
Oh, you can't do... Well, just update it, Kalen. How hard is that?
I don't have it installed to update it.
Well, why not?
Why?
Because I changed hard drives, remember? And then I had to reformat this hard drive.
It's one of our favorite games ever, and you didn't even install it?
You didn't even pre-install it beforehand?
My god.
What is wrong with you?
Okay,
A lot.
I've got a straw poll going. Oh, somebody says, what about Splatoon 2? Kalen doesn't have a Switch. Come on. I love all the people saying Sonic Shuffle. Half-Life. Half-Life is the perfect multiplayer game for us to play.
Oh my. Really, Josh? Sneak that one in there, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kalen, did you see the straw poll?
No, I didn't look at the straw poll because I
You
figured
probably
it
should
was,
look at the straw poll.
Oh,
I figured it
shit.
was roll.
Yeah, I posted a straw poll in the chat, so go vote there.
Oh my god, stop.
No, I said on the Dreamcast stream that I'd probably go back and play some PSO at some point since I couldn't show much of it at the time. So I'm like, we should probably put this on here.
Metro Android understands my pain.
TF2, it takes 17 hours to download. We can't play Sonic Shuffle, but I would love to play Sonic Shuffle. In a sense, I wouldn't really love it, but I would do it. I would do it, but I can't because we're all in different places.
If I was at least 10 minutes away, I would come over and play.
I appreciate that. Anyway, I'll be right back while the poll results go. I'll be back in literally less than 5 minutes. If you guys want to entertain the people while I'm gone, or we can just take a short break.
Let's just take a short break.
Okay, let me see how to do this.
Play some music in the background.
I don't have money to get my quid.
AM Pro Gaming is upset that TF2 is not on the stroll.
It's gonna take so long to download.
Ooh.
You have decent internet. Come on now.
Okay, I guess that works. Alright, I'll be right back.
The most annoying part about all this is the fact that you can hear it coming through the door.
One more time! I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're not doing that again. Viewer count dropped by 30% at the sound of this song. Okay, can you guys hear me again? Encore.
You're back.
Yep. Apparently, Lennon and Kalen could also hear the song, so they muted me in Discord. The number of viewers on the stream dropped by about 30% during the Big the Cat music.
I mean, that's
I
understandable.
wonder why.
Okay, so the game that won the poll is Phantasy Star Online. If you guys would rather play a Sea of Thieves, I'll defer to you, but I'm fine either way.
I'm fine. It doesn't matter which to me.
If it doesn't work, it's not gonna work. I think it's not gonna go well.
If what doesn't work?
The last time I tried to log in, it didn't work very well.
Oh, really?
That's odd.
Yeah.
Well, give it a try now, and if it works, then we'll play that, and if not, we'll play Sea of Thieves. Somebody's like, why do you stream so late? Sleeping is a basic human necessity. In this case, it was just cause, like, the only reason I really wanted to do a stream was just to play the Super Nintendo for a while, the Super NES Classic for a while, since I was doing the podcast about it tomorrow. And also, like, me and Lennon and Kalen often get together at about midnight and start playing some games. Big Star Online. I like how the view count, despite the fact that it's just this static image, the view count has crawled back up a little bit since the Big the Cat music stopped playing.
That's hilarious.
Like, people just decided, fuck this, left for a few minutes, and now they're coming back. So, Kalen, how's it going? Everything rides on you.
I've got to find it first. It's on my old hard drive.
Ah. It's 3:30 for me and Kalen, and it's 2:30 for Lennon. Since the chat's talking about that.
It is pretty late. Worked for me.
I just played it the other day, so I know it works for me. Well, Icern Wolf, ask and you shall receive.
What did he ask?
I can't even listen to it again. I'm sorry. Once is enough. I was like, I can't do this to myself so soon.
Okay.
So what we're currently waiting for is for Kalen to see if he still has Phantasy Star Online installed somewhere. I like how the straw poll only got 16 total votes. I mean, I'll post it again. No, I can do Big the Cat's theme one time. Like, I can set through the credits, but by the end it is grating on me quite a bit. And Blade Blur's asking, to answer your question, I would definitely play online Dreamcast games. If you get a Dream Pie. I think Dustin VG Master said earlier that he was going to get it. Or that he had already gotten one, maybe. So, Kalen, how's it going?
It is updating.
Excellent.
See how well it starts.
It's too bad that I wasn't streaming PSO yesterday. We had not PSO. We had a great time in Sea of Thieves yesterday.
Oh man, that was fantastic.
Yeah, we did.
Like, I was just thinking about today too. Like, looking back at it, it was still just an awesome time. Just the way it built up to that.
I guess I'll do this while Kalen's doing his thing. Let's see, I need to remove this.
Alright, it looks like it runs. It's just really choppy.
I see you.
What's choppy about it?
Everything.
That's weird. So you built like a mostly new computer, right?
I mean, yeah.
And like it's and like it can't. Blue Burst is way too strong. It's just too complicated for Kalen's new computer. To be fair, that happened to me with Borderlands 2. So there's something weird about that game where it ran way better on my old graphics card than my new one.
It might just need like a complete reinstall or something.
But yeah, Kalen, I'm leaving it up to you. Do you think PSO will be okay, or would you rather just do Sea of Thieves?
It'll probably be fine.
Like, I'll come on here sometime and like stream Sea of Thieves as well for sure. I feel like it's one of those games where like, because it's an Xbox and PC exclusive, like there's a lot of people out there who probably like don't really know what the gameplay is all about in it. But touch kitty, get kitty. Oh god. I have to say it even though it's only for the benefit of you guys. No, Steven!
Haha.
What Dreamcast game you should play?
Sonic Adventure 1, Soul Calibur, House of the Dead 2, Buggy Heat. I've never played Buggy Heat.
Touch a big, get kitty. Oh my. Oh my. I actually voted for Overwatch, lol.
Oof. Not many people voted for Overwatch, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot less people than I thought would voted for Overwatch.
Well,
don't you guys want to see how great of a Hanzo main I am?
Well, they would be seeing my gameplay, you know?
Yeah, but they would see my kill feed.
Anyway, out of those, I don't know. I'd say you should probably play Sonic Adventure, but that's just me. That's what I would probably pick from that list.
Why is this live stream a blessing? Is it because you're Aaron the Yoshi and he's currently riding a Yoshi? Would you like for Baby Mario to ride you?
It's getting late. Lennon, we could just talk about how much we don't like Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island sucks.
It doesn't suck. I don't love it or anything, but I can't say it sucks.
Okay, yeah, I probably can't tell it sucks, but I never liked it, so...
That's something we both agreed on.
Like, I'm sure they had to have Baby Mario in there for a reason, but I feel like it could have done just as well without him.
Well, it's telling that none of the other well, no, that's not true. Yoshi's Island DS totally did the same thing, and had the baby characters.
Mm.
And I think the one on the 3DS also did that. But for me, the problem with Yoshi's Island was always that I guess one thing about it is that the whole thrust of the game, where you find the replayability, what the game wants you to do is to take your time through these levels, exploring every nook and cranny and finding all the items. It's very much structured so that you'll get the most out of it if you do that. But the problem with that is that's not usually how I play platformers. We go back to the to the Sonic 2, to the whole Sonic 2 thing. That's not really what I want out of a platformer. And in addition to that, Donkey Kong Country also has tons of secrets to discover and stuff like that. But Yoshi's Island, there's the controls are great, don't get me wrong, but there's no momentum to them. Yoshi just always runs at one certain speed, and there's no way, compared to something like Super Mario World where you can hold down the run button, you can slide down hills, there's ways to go faster. And Yoshi's Island just isn't concerned with that. And that's, to the credit of what they were trying to do with the game, it's fine. It's just why I think it's never appealed to me nearly as much as, other Mario games.
Now I kind of want to see a speed run of Yoshi.
Oh, of course it's possible.
Brigitte. You say it Brigitte.
I say it Vegeta.
Because that's how Papa Jeff says it. And so we should follow what Papa Jeff says. Because Papa Jeff.
Brigitte?
That said, the final boss of Yoshi's Island is one of the absolute best in the entire Mario series. And I wish I could just show it to you, but I'm a long, long way away from that. So... PSO... I reposted the straw poll, and PSO only got more votes.
Of course it did. Well, that's what you get for putting PSO in there.
Yeah, I know. No, dude, Blade Blur, it's fine to love Yoshi's Island. I totally understand why people love it. It's a really, really well-made game, and it did a lot of unique things at the time. It's a great game. It's just not something, I guess, similar to how Donkey Kong Country 3 wasn't going to appeal to me as much. Yoshi's Island was never going to appeal to me as much. That said, I'm just talking about my problems with it. I don't know what Lynn's problems are exactly.
I just don't like Baby Mario.
That alone
just pulls me away from the game.
Yeah, everybody was always talking about how annoying Baby Mario was, and I was like, but it has other problems too, though. Why doesn't anybody talk about anything except how annoying Baby Mario is? He never even annoyed me that bad. Poochie's cute. I'll give it that. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is play PSO for a while, and then maybe play some Overwatch or some Sea of Thieves, depending on how Kalen's end of it holds up.
Yeah, once this like all starts, once everything starts hitting the fan and all the monsters start spawning, this could get really gross for me.
I just don't understand why your computer can't run Blue Burst anymore.
I think it's because I'm running it off of the old hard drive.
That might be it, yeah.
But I haven't taken the time to reinstall it because we usually only play this game like once a year.
Well, we'll talk more about PSO once we're actually playing it. For the purposes of like archiving, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream for a second and get things set up to like stream from my computer, and then we'll be right back in. So, oh man, I always die in this section and then have to repeat the whole thing again. But, fortunately, we have interrupt saves. No problem. No probalo! Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to stop the stream for a while, but we'll be back in just a few minutes.